Good afternoon, good evening. I call to order the Board of Education regular meeting for May 26, 2026. Mr. Wilcox, if you could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Thank you. I have an announcement and two motions to amend the meeting agenda. First announcement is just a reminder that Tuesday, June 23rd will be our regular Board of Education meeting instead of Monday because of our graduation schedule for the district. So our meeting will be June 23rd, 5:30 p.m. in this room. Second, I move to add to the agenda a second reading and possible action from the Governance Committee for the free or reduced price lunch policy. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. That's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll vote. Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Dr. Benitez?
Yes.
Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Mr. Juarez?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. I then want to make a motion regarding a typo on the personnel report. Dr. Negron, can you share what the typo is, please?
Yes, we would like to correct the clerical error on the appointment of Ms. Ortiz tonight. Her years of experience is reflected as 9 years. It should be reflected as 32 years.
Thank you. I move to amend the personnel report for Ms. Rosa Ortiz to have the years of experience changed to reflect what our superintendent has said.
Second.
Thank you. That has been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, Dr. Joyner,
Yes.
Mr. Wilcox,
Yes.
Dr. Benitez,
Yes.
Mr. Juarez,
Yes.
Mayor Elicker,
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. Thank you. We'll move into our segment for public participation. Welcome to the Board of Education regular meeting. Regular meetings are a time for the Board of Education to conduct its business. As a Board of Education, we are here to set goals, listen to reports of the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, and personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. The board may hear public participation for up to 60 minutes. Public participation shall be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker. One speaker cannot yield their time to another speaker. There will be no responses this evening to any questions or concerns raised. They will be referred to the administration for review. As adults, we serve as positive role models for our students. Please be respectful of people. We ask speakers not to make defamatory comments or use abusive or vulgar language. Dr. White, are we ready for public comments?
Yes. Our first speaker is Judy Leach. Excuse me.
Oh, sorry. Good evening, board members. My name is Judith Leach, and I am a proud New Haven Public Schools veteran teacher with 21 years of service, all at Fane, where I have served as the SPMT chair. SPMT Chair. I am here.
Hold on. Can you just take 1 second? I think it's.
Okay,
Say test, yeah.
test.
What we start.
In my capacity as the SPMT Chair, I am here tonight to represent the collective voice of our famed school community and our dedicated teachers, our resilient families, and our students. Tonight, we want to publicly recognize and express our profound gratitude for our Assistant Principal, Ms. Regina Carini, and the deep positive impact she continues to have on our learning community. Ms. Carini has been the steady anchor of our building for the past 5 years.
Move it down.
Yes, so people.
Teachers choose to stay at Fame because they feel genuinely supported by her, and our students thrive because she knows, sees, and cares for every single one of them. Her unwavering leadership has been absolutely vital to our school's stability. She's a leader who builds the foundational systems and structures that allow our educators to succeed. Notably, she spearheaded a restorative justice program that has fundamentally transformed our school culture and drastically reduced suspensions. Furthermore, during several high-stress crises that resulted in school lockdowns, Ms. Carini's calm under pressure, swift action, and clear communication ensured the safety and reassurance of everyone in the building. She is also a leader who rolls up her sleeves. When our school faced a spike in chronic absenteeism, Ms. Carini didn't just analyze the data from afar, she personally conducted home visits and designed an incentive plan that successfully brought absenteeism down from 21.2% to 19.2%, outperforming the district's target goal. As a staff deeply invested in our school community and fiercely loyal to leaders who deliver tangible results, we are looking forward to an exciting transition into Fame's next chapter. However, we cannot lose sight of what got us here. We strongly urge the board to ensure that Ms. Carini's invaluable institutional knowledge, proven leadership, and her 23 years of deep commitment to NHPS are fiercely protected, leveraged, and valued in our district. Thank you for your time and your continued commitment to our schools.
Our next speaker is Janet Gonzalez.
Good evening, board members. My name is Jeanette Gonzalez, and I have served for the PTO president of Fame for the last 10 years. Over the last decade, I have witnessed many leaders come and go, but I have never worked with anyone as deeply committed to our community as Ms. Regina Carini. She doesn't just attend our events. I got it. She engages with our students and our families with genuine care and dedication. In my role as PTO president, I represent a collective of voices of our families. Therefore, I would be remiss if I did not publicly share our profound disappointment regarding the decision not to promote Ms. Carini to principal. Tonight, our families want to formally recognize and express our deepest gratitude as our assistant principal for her unwavering support and her vital role in the continued success of Fame. Thank you so much for your time.
Our next speaker is Tyler Agamon.
Thank you, Board of Education, for the privilege of speaking to you again. The last time I spoke here on April 13th, I said that I thought that New Haven's demographics could not justify making Eid a school holiday for the public school system. The problem with the decision is more than just one of demographics. It may also be that the goal of inclusion, which I understand to have been the goal of the calendar change, is diametrically opposed to the purpose of government. One way of determining something's purpose is to consider what it alone can do, or what it does better than anything else. Some activities of government, like defense of life, liberty, and property, could also be carried out by businesses and charities. But I would argue that the capacity to unify or reconcile private parties themselves, whether they be individuals, families, or businesses, is especially well done by government, and therefore a good candidate for its purpose. Public schools could function as the most direct means of achieving social unity by inculcating a clear sense of identity and of right and wrong. Sharing the same sense of right and wrong, people would likely have more mutual respect and less inclination to injure life, liberty, and property. In other words, public schools should be places for creating American citizens rather than a place to let 100 flowers bloom. To me, inclusion sounds like the opposite. Rather than honing one's identity, it sounds like complicating it by honoring more and more beliefs and value systems. I'm in favor of a strong social fabric and seeking to make newcomers of good character welcome, but that doesn't seem to be what inclusion is. If my opinion about the role of government in public schools is right, then it is inappropriate for the school system here to change itself to satisfy anyone and everyone who decides to settle in New Haven. Those who are ill at ease with my opposition to inclusion can take solace in the fact that people who come to New Haven, assuming they do so willingly, had 168 other municipalities, 49 other American states, and about 193 other countries to which they could have gone. There's no shortage, for example, of Muslim countries where a person can educate his child without a conflict with their religious commitments. That a person chooses to settle in here and to send their children to a public school suggests that they have already prioritized something over an education for their children that doesn't conflict with their religion. If they have ordered their concerns in that fashion, why should this city go out of its way to remedy that? It isn't New Haven's job to make sure people can make decisions without consequences, or as the saying goes, to have their cake and eat it too. There's nothing inherently inferior about the public sector and public schools, but we need the people in charge to run the public schools efficiently and in a structured manner. That makes all the difference. Thank you for your attention.
Dr. President, that concludes all who signed up.
Thank you very much. Next on our agenda are the action items, the approval of the board meeting minutes of May 11th, 2026. Is there a motion?
Yes, I move that we approve the board meeting minutes of May 11, 2026.
Second.
Thank you. That's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Dr. Joyner?
Yes.
Dr. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Juarez?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Dr. Negron, would you like to introduce the personnel report, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Keeping up with my tradition, first I would like to recognize the following individual who is retiring after dedicating over 25 years of service to the district, and that is Andrew Porto, building manager. He retired on May 16th, and this was after serving for 30 years with the New Haven Public Schools, so we wish him well. Next, before I ask for your approval of tonight's personal report, I would like Dr. White to put up a slide for me. Just want to revisit once again with you and the public the process that I have put in place since my arrival as it relates to the principal selection process. I know we've reviewed it before, but I want to take an opportunity again since there are 3 appointments today. So first, the assistant superintendents meet with schools prior to beginning the interview process to share a timeline and discuss the interview process with the school SPMT. This is done to ensure that everybody understands their roles in terms of making recommendations to the superintendent. In step 1, that is the human resource screening. The Human Resource Department reviews all applications to ensure candidates meet the qualifications outlined in the job description in collaboration with the assistant superintendent of the school. In step 2 is for panel formation. We call that phase 1. The teacher and the administrators union are each invited to designate one representative to join the phase 1 interview panel, along with the selected central office administrators. In step 3, phase 1 interviews are conducted. The panel conducts initial interviews and consensus, selects candidates to advance to phase 2. So in step 4 is the panel expansion for phase 2. The interview panel is expanded to include the school planning and management team representation. In step 5, that is the phase 2 interviews, the expanded panel conducts interviews and determines which candidates to recommend to the superintendent. They are reminded that their recommendations, they have to live with all who they recommend, because they have to recognize that it will be my decision in the role of the superintendent to interview and then make a selection. In step 6 is the superintendent review. I review all interview materials, including the glows and grows, feedback from the panels, and the results of any performance task. Last step, step 7, phase 3, which is the interview and the final recommendation. I conduct one-to-one final interviews, and then I submit a formal hiring recommendation to the Board of Education, which I am doing tonight. So I just wanted to, again, remind everybody about the process. And today, it brings me great joy and pleasure to make 3 recommendations before the board. And Mr. Chair, if it's okay, I would like to present each nominee individually. I would then ask for you to take the vote, and then I would love for each candidate to come up and say a few words, if that's okay with you.
Yes,
Okay?
thank you.
All right. So again, brings me joy to introduce you to Kara Campo, being promoted as principal of Worthington Hooker. Ms. Campo is an equity-driven school leader with over 2 decades of public education experience, specializing in collaborative leadership, student advocacy, and community partnerships. Currently serving as an assistant principal right here at King Robinson Interdistrict Magnet School within the New Haven Public Schools. Kara is dedicated to building high-performing teacher teams and fostering collective self-efficacy. By designing collaborative planning structures and mentoring teacher leaders, she empowers educators to innovate and drive student-centered growth. Her leadership has been instrumental in boosting academic achievement, improving school culture, and reducing chronic absenteeism through supportive MTSS and PBIS frameworks centered on student well-being. Previously, as an assistant principal, magnet resource teacher, and instructional coach at Bishop Woods Architecture and Design Magnet School, Kara managed $1.2 million of federally funded redesign initiative that culminated in the school's redesignation as a Magnet School of America School of Excellence. Passionate about creating rich, real-world experiences for students, She expanded student voice through initiatives such as the Strive program and established more than 15 school business partnerships to broaden career-connected learning opportunities. A frequent professional learning facilitator with the Seedlings Educators Collaborative and a presenter on student engagement at the National AFT Teach Conference, Kara holds a 6-year degree in educational leadership from the University of New England and Connecticut certifications in both administration and supervision, 492, and elementary education. So that is Kara Campo. It also brings me joy to recommend for a promotional appointment, Carissa Stolzman, to principal of Benjamin Jepson. Ms. Stolzman is a dedicated and high effective educational leader with over a decade of administrative and instructional experience, driving school-wide goals, teacher development, and innovative curriculum design. A proud alumna of James Hillhouse High School, Carissa has committed more than 17 years to serving New Haven students. Her extensive career includes impactful roles at L.W. Beecher Museum Magnet, Engineering Science University Magnet School, Celentano Biotech Health and Medical Magnet School, and Brennan Rogers School. She currently serves as the assistant principal at Benjamin Jepson Magnet School. Beyond the classroom and administrative office, Carissa is a deeply rooted community leader who serves in various local capacities, including volunteering for the New Haven Steelers and maintaining an active membership in the National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Club. She holds degrees from Southern Connecticut State University, the University of New Haven, and Sacred Heart University. And last but not least, also a pleasure to recommend as an external appointment, Ms. Rosa Ortiz for principalship at the Family Academy of Multilingual Exploration. Ms. Ortiz is a bilingual educational leader with more than 3 decades of experience in Connecticut public schools. She most recently served as an assistant principal in New Britain Public Schools, where she led comprehensive school operations for over 650 students. In this role, she oversaw curriculum implementation, data analysis, and continuous school improvement initiatives. Additionally, Ms. Ortiz champions student success by supporting multilingual learners and strengthening school culture through restorative practices and PBIS frameworks and proactive behavior intervention strategies. She also partnered with families and community stakeholders to deeply enhance family engagement. Before administration, Ms. Ortiz spent 23 years as a special education and bilingual education teacher across New Britain and Waterbury Public Schools. Ms. Ortiz holds a 6-year degree in administration and supervision from the University of Bridgeport, a Master's of Science in Bilingual Bicultural Curriculum and Instruction from the University of Connecticut, and a Bachelor of Science in Special Education. She is also a fluent speaker of Spanish and English. And with that, I hereby ask for approval of the personal report.
Thank you. Mr. Wilcox?
Yes, I move that we approve the action items as the superintendent's report as corrected previously.
Second. Any discussion? Mayor Elicker?
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm a big fan of Ms. Ortiz at FAME and have gotten to know her as a parent, but I also very much respect the process that the superintendent uses to evaluate who's most appropriate to be principal, and we'll be supporting the superintendent's decision here.
Thank you.
You meant Ms. Serini.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Ms. Serini. Thank you. I'm a big fan of Ms. Serini.
Thank you very much. Dr. Joyner?
Dr. Negron, in your appointment at FAME, how many candidates remained after the initial phases? When it got to you, how many candidates remained?
So in round 1, there were 5 internals and 2 externals that were then recommended to round 2. In round 2, that group then recommended 2 internals and 1 external. And then to me, there were two recommendations, one internal and one external.
So by the time it got to you, all the various stakeholders had input, and they recommended two remaining candidates.
Correct.
So that means the SPMT had input, the union had input, and your staff had input.
Correct. That has been the process that I have put in place to ensure that we have the voices from all our
Okay.
stakeholders in the process.
Right. So I support your decision as the superintendent to choose from among two people that had been vetted by the entire group of stakeholders. So I'm going to support this.
Thank you, Dr. Joyner. Seeing no other discussion, we'll vote. Mr. Wilcox,
Yes.
Dr. Joyner,
Yes.
Dr. Benitez,
Yes.
Mr. Waters,
Yes.
Mayor Elicker.
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. The motion carries. Dr. Negron?
Yes. And at this point, I would like to invite Ms. Kira Campo, Principal of Worthington Hooker, effective July 1st.
This all set? Okay. Good evening, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Negron, colleagues, friends, and community members. I want to sincerely begin by thanking Dr. Negron and the Board of Education for your trust and confidence in me as the next principal of Worthington Hooker School. I am very honored, deeply grateful, and incredibly excited to begin this next chapter. Worthington Hooker is clearly a very special community, and I'm excited for the opportunity to become a part of it. I believe schools are strongest when relationships are at the center, and when students, staff, families, and the broader community work together with a shared commitment to helping students grow, learn, and thrive. You know, that's the work I'm excited to do. So I look forward to listening, learning, and building strong partnerships as we continue this important work together. As I reflect on today, I'm reminded that I didn't get here alone, and I want to acknowledge all the principals, mentors, and school leaders who have guided and challenged me throughout my career. Thank you for your wisdom, your encouragement, your belief in me. A special thank you to my current principal, Ms. Gums Johnson, for her support, guidance, and friendship. Thank you. I also want to thank the faculty and staff members I've had the privilege of working alongside over the years, both at King Robinson and at Bishop Woods and throughout the district. Thank you for your collaboration and partnership and commitment to students. You've helped me grow in countless ways, both professionally and personally. A big thank you to my family, my husband Todd, my kids, Sienna and Maxwell, Emma, and my parents and my sister. Thank you for supporting me today and always. I love you so much. Thank you for getting dressed up. One belief that really grounds me as an educator and leader is that every person in a school community brings unique gifts, and every student comes to school with strengths and potential waiting to be nurtured, and every staff member brings talents and expertise that enrich a school community. And as principal of Worthington Hooker, I look forward to fostering an environment where those gifts are recognized and valued and celebrated. So I just want to thank you again for this incredible opportunity. I'm so excited to begin this work and honored truly to join the Worthington Hooker community. Thank you.
We always take a picture.
Okay, I'm down.
Congratulations again. At this point, I would like to invite and it matches your outfit. At this point, we'd like to invite Principal of Benjamin Jepson, effective July 1st, Ms. Carissa Stolzman, to share some words.
Good evening, Dr. Negron, Mayor Elicker, members of the Board of Education, families, and guests. Thank you for this opportunity. Standing before you tonight, this is a deeply profound moment for me. I am a proud product of New Haven Public Schools, from Edgewood to Sheridan, and a graduate of the mighty James Hillhouse High School, where my son is currently a student. I began my teaching career, as Dr. Negron stated, at Beecher Magnet School before moving on to ESUMS, where I taught for 8 years, followed by Salentano and Brennan Rogers, where I served as assistant principal. This district has invested in me. It shaped my foundation, ignited my passion for education. To serve now in this capacity in this community that has raised me is a true honor of a lifetime. Dr. Negron, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting my leadership and believing in me. I look forward to partnering with the dedicated staff at Jepson and the broader community to build on Jepson's strong traditions and drive our students forward to excellence. I want to take a moment to also thank Ms. Leslie, who is retiring. She has stretched me, she has poured into me, and she has made me ready for this moment. I vow to lead with equity, lead with empathy, drive with equity, and quality education for all students. I also just want to quickly thank my family, my husband, Derek, my son, Miller, and my mother. Thank you for your support, and especially thanks to my sons who have stayed late with me, skipped dinners, got takeout just so I can be here. Thank you so much for your support. And I am thrilled to be the next leader of Jepson Magnet School.
And last but not least, I would like to introduce you and welcome to New Haven, the new principal of FAME, Ms. Rosa Ortiz.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Negron, district leadership, staff, families, and community members. I'm truly honored and humbled by the opportunity to join the New Haven Public School District and the FAME family. I am grateful for the trust that has been placed in me, and I do not take this responsibility lightly. As I step into this principalship, I am excited to lead a school with such a powerful and important mission. As a dual language school, FAME has the unique opportunity to celebrate language, culture, identity, and academic excellence every day. As a bilingual learner myself, I understand how powerful language can be. Language connects us to who we are, where we come from, and where we're going. I believe deeply that bilingualism and biliteracy are strengths that open doors for students, families, and communities. My commitment is to lead with integrity, to listen with care, and to build strong relationships with staff, students, families, and district leaders. I know that the best work happens when we work together, stay focused on children, and create a school environment where every student feels seen, valued, challenged, and supported. I heard tonight some of our FAME staff's passion about this principal candidacy, and I can't blame them. They want to see a true leader help our school move in the right direction. I too hold that same passion and can only hope that within time, they too will see that leader in me. I look forward to learning from the FAME community, honoring the work already in place, building on its strengths, and helping move the school forward with purpose, unity, and high expectations. I would like to thank my family for being here, my husband, Alex, my grandsons, Isaiah and Noah, and the others that couldn't make it tonight for all their support. Thank you again for this opportunity. I'm excited, grateful, and ready to serve. Thank you.
Welcome again to you. For you. Mr. Chair, that completes my personal report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Negron, and congratulations to everyone. F&O report and action items, Mr. Wilcox.
Yes, so before I make the main motion, just checking to see if anybody would like anything moved individually. Hearing and seeing not, I'll go ahead and make the motion. I move that we approve these 5 agreements, this 1 amendment, these 2 purchase orders, the 2 data sharing agreements, the 1 contract, and the 5 change orders as outlined on our agenda.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Wilcox,
Yes.
Dr. Joyner,
Yes.
Dr. Benitez,
Yes.
Mr. Waters,
Yes.
Mayor Elicker,
Yes.
and I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Next is the President's report.
Sorry.
Oh, the governance, the second reading.
Dr. Benitez, would you like to do the governance report now as an action item?
Yes, please.
Okay.
The report is very short. The report is very short. We will have our this month meeting tomorrow. It was scheduled for today, but what I want as an action item is to ask that the Board of Education approves a motion, votes on a motion and approves a motion to update the food free and reduced lunch policy so that we can include further actions in part of the schools to prevent food waste.
Thank you. I move that we approve policy 3542.31A, free or reduced price lunch. Is
Second.
there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Joyner. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. Dr. Joyner,
Yes.
Mr. Wilcox,
Yes.
Dr. Benitez,
Yes.
Mr. Waters,
Yes.
Mayor Elicker.
Yes.
I'm a yes as well. That motion carries. Thank you. Next is the President's report. And I would like to share a report from Ms. Downer. Ms. Downer is the board lead on our student elections, and she works closely with Dr. White and our other student leaders. Ms. Downer has personal and professional experience with being an elected member and is also very passionate about our students in this school district. So I'm grateful for her service. And to the board and public, we have this report from Ms. Downer. I just want to give you an update on the Student Election Committee. We have 4 students that are interested. All members of the board are requested to attend election night, 5/28/2026 at 5:30 p.m. in City Hall for the collection, counting of the ballots and announcement of the new board member, board members are requested to encourage students and to rally students. This election process is designed to mimic a campaign process. It's a collective effort of the school district under Dr. White. Please reach out to Dr. White. If you are able to collect ballots from schools, the Honorable Alder Kimberly Edwards, City of New Haven, Al Lucas, Director of Legislative Services, and Democratic Registrar of Voters, Chanel Evans. So please save the date, May 28th, 2026, City Hall at 5:30 p.m., and Ms. Downer will be reaching out to each board member. Dr. Negron, is there something you can share for the student elections or Dr. White?
I think I'll pass it on to Dr. White. I just said we're very excited that we have 4 strong candidates.
Putting you on the spot. Thank you, Dr.
No
White.
problem. Yes, on Friday, we held the candidates forum in the Aldermanic Chamber. The 4 candidates answered questions from the Citywide Student Council. It was a great, thoughtful exchange. I'd like to thank the Independent for a very nice coverage of the event and helping to share what our students are about. The polls are open for the next 3 days, and on Thursday evening, we will know who our next colleague of the board will be.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. White. Thank you, Ms. Downer, for sending in your report. And we thank you for all those who have been participating. Any discussion on the president's report? Next, the superintendent's report. Dr. Negron.
Thank you. I would like to start with a brief update on where we are as it relates to our fiscal year 27 budget. Dr. White, can you just put up my slide for me? Just wanted to put up and remind the public the superintendent's budget proposal that we presented back on March 23rd. It's here on the screen for you. You may recall we presented a budget that would protect pretty much status quo. In terms of the status quo, more specifically, we are protecting the current FTE levels for core instruction and intervention. We are protecting college and career pathways. We are protecting integrated models for special education and multilingual learners. We are protecting the arts, athletics, and social emotional supports. We are protecting school attendance teams to support families and reduce barriers to continue the upward trajectory we have achieved together over the last 2 years on our path to excellence. Against status quo, we were asking for $232,144,167. Based on the report that we gave you, we are looking at an $18.9 million budget gap. But again, since then, the mayor had proposed to add an additional funding besides the $5 million that he reflected on his proposed budget. You may recall also on an article that was done by the Independent that he shared some plans that he was proposing to the Board of Alders. First, I would like to publicly thank Governor Lamont, all the legislative leaders, specifically Senator Looney and our New Haven delegation for all the advocacy that happened during the legislative session. As a result of that, we know that the governor's budget provides an additional $193 million in supplemental education grants. What that means is that New Haven will be receiving $7.6 million in a direct supplemental aid that is meant for Board of Educations. So we know, just want to do the math, that if we were talking about a deficit of $18.9 million, we minus the mayor's proposed $5 million, that brings us to $13.9 million. If we then minus the $7.9 million that we read on the paper that the Alder leadership is proposing, and we're also grateful to our Alders. And again, I want to note that out of that $7.9 million, $7.6 million is a direct allocation from the state to boards of eds. That means that our budget gap, it's now reduced to $6 million. But also, I am grateful that I know that the Alder leadership has proposed that $6 million be allocated to an education fund balance, which would mean that if that is approved, then it means we have closed the budget gap that we were projecting for fiscal year '27. I do know there is a meeting at the Board of Alders tonight where Dr. White will be reporting, or CFO will be there as well. I will be heading there after this meeting, that I know they are discussing departmental budgets. We are hopeful that everything is going to work out in the way that is intended, so that once again, Dr. White, can you get to the next slide? So that we can protect all the fiscal priorities that you just heard me reiterate, that I shared with you when I made my proposal, so that again, we can protect the dedicated staffing that we have right now, and we can continue to do the work. Any questions on the budget update before I go on to transportation?
Mayor Elicker?
If I could just make a quick comment. This has been a multi-year effort. And last year, New Haven led the charge. I wanted to thank Leslie for your work there, and Jenny, as well as a lot of the teachers that went up to the Capitol. We've coordinated. Last year, there was a handful of municipalities that really elevated this issue. This year, it was just across the board, municipalities across the state pushing for this. And I think it's important to acknowledge just all the advocacy that has gone on for this multi-year effort. I also think it's important to point out that the Supplemental Education Fund is a one-time fund. And so when we talk about multi-year effort, there's hopefully only one more year left of that multi-year effort, but we have to really push again next year. Really grateful to our state delegation, in particular Senator Looney, who made this a clear priority of his early on in the session. And I'm optimistic that the Board of Alders, when they meet shortly, will approve this final allocation to close the budget gap.
Thank you, Mayor Elicker.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Nahum.
So now we'll move on to our transportation update. I will get this going. Dr. White is gonna help me fill in. Just quickly again, we shared with you last month some ideas, because we are still continuing to look at operational efficiencies. Back on April 27th, these were some of the things that we were discussing as future cost savings, ranging from type 1 service reductions to type 2 service reductions, and some potential additional savings. After ongoing work that has been done by our Director of Transportation, Ms. Sequela Coleman, who's in the back, and other members of the team, inclusive of Dr. White, Michelle Bonanno, and some others, Dr. White and I are here today to share that we are ready to move forward with, Dr. White, are we right there? With these two recommendations. We are going to move forward with the high school opt-in plan, which we believe could potentially save $620,000, as well as our Riverside transportation, meaning that we could eliminate 7 small loads and move the students to bus passes, with another potential savings of $217,000. Most importantly, on the next slide, because we are talking about what we need to do to get there, I wanted to share that communication with you tonight, board. Please know that immediately tomorrow, there will be an opt-in survey message that is going to be posted on our district website. Immediately after, the opt-in information will also be posted on school websites and through Aptogy, which is the platform that we use to message our families, and all other communication tools. We are going to begin that process on Thursday. After that, there's going to be an opt-in email that's going to go from Central Office Transportation to all of our families. So again, families, if you have a student that is either in high school or going into high school, expect to receive an email from the Central Office Transportation Department. After that, after Thursday, expect to receive an email every 3 days. Yes, you might get annoyed, but we have to make sure that we can confirm that you have received the message, that you are aware that there's a survey that is going to ask you if you meet requirements for transportation. You will be asked, do you want transportation? Yes or no? We need your answer by June 18th. That is why we're going to keep bugging you every 3 days. Also very important, we are going to send an email, a confirmation email, to all those families that said yes on the survey. So by June 22nd, expect to receive an email that will say, you should expect to receive transportation. Details will come the week of August 17th. Now, families, very important. If you said, no, I don't need transportation, if we do not hear from you by June 18th, we're going to make an assumption that you do not need transportation because you didn't answer or call, despite postings on emails, besides bugging you every 3 days, and we are going to proceed because we cannot hold up the process. So you will receive an email saying that you did not want transportation. And that means that we are not going to be making arrangements to put your child on a bus. That is the communication plan. We are going to be a nuisance to our families. So if you hear complaints, know that it is intentional, that we are going to be bugging families every 3 days. And with that, I would like to open it up for any questions.
Thank you. Any discussion? Mr. Wilcox?
Yes, just a suggestion and or a request, and everything was based on emails there, and I just think at some point in the process, if the emails aren't getting the response, maybe an alternative method, a letter or a call or something, just to make sure, just in case there's some families that are having email access issues, et cetera. So just, that's a request in that.
Mr. Wilcox, thank you. And I'll let Dr. White add more details, but we are also asking for school leaders to help out in this endeavor. So there are going to be reports that are going to be published every Friday to determine who hasn't answered yet. And we're asking our schools to help us out with outreach. We're also going to be using members of the YFCE because they're used to doing visits and contacting families to also support us with this endeavor.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Other discussion? Thank you, Dr. Negron. Does that conclude your report?
That concludes all of my updates tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Joyner, is there a teaching and learning committee report to share?
Yes, a brief report. We had our meeting last Wednesday, and I continue to believe that our content leaders are among the best. I think I'm in a good position to know that because of the various places I've worked in over the years. At the last meeting, there was a math and science report, which, I mean, the only thing I can say is remarkable in terms of the two leaders in that content area, both in terms of what they do with specific activities, and I'll give you a few examples, as well as how they report what they do. And in the case of the math department, many of you know that we have a math beat every year at the Fieldhouse. And it has the same energy as you would find at a track meet or a basketball game or a football game. And one of the things that warmed my heart was to see some of the fathers there, because unfortunately, in our current world, fathers aren't as present as they were when I was a child, and that creates a problem. But I can remember very young children working hard and 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 exhibiting their brilliance and having their fathers with their arms around them, leading them up to get awards and so on and so forth. In fact, one of the things that stands out for me was a kid from John Daniels, the first time I was there, who made a mistake, and he was so passionate about doing well that he started crying. So I gave him $5, which was a pretty good amount of money for a third or fourth grade. I think he was the fourth or fifth grade. And I told him, I said, keep it up. Don't let these tears stop you from trying, because sometimes you do your best after you fail. And you haven't failed if you're trying. And some of you, if you're born and raised in the South, there's an old expression, nothing beats a failure but a try. And so he has a wonderful principal, by the way. I've known him for a long time. And so I'm so proud of what's being done there, as well as the financial literacy initiative that the math department has promoted. I can remember when I was a principal, there was a kid that was buying a VCR, and he was paying like, I think the interest was more than the actual cost of it. And I remember asking the staff at Jackie Robinson, I said, what kind of math are we teaching that kid doesn't know that that's a bad investment? And so a few teachers kind of got into it, but it was never systemic. And so what's being done now in math across the district is systemic, and it's going to get better. As we get more resources, we'll get better. The science department, one of the things that jumps out at us with that is the strategic alliances. The Smithsonian program, as well as the alliance with the Peabody Museum and other important entities in the city that relate to science. And if you think about both of those subjects, math and science does not lie. You can take history and lit and all like that and create all kinds of propaganda and so on and so forth. But in terms of math and science, the math has to math and the science has to science. And there's a level of humility with mathematicians and scientists, because if they can't answer the question with evidence, they say, we don't know. I wish politics were like that. Thankfully, we have a mayor who has that mentality, but the whole country is not like that, particularly at the federal level. So they're going to be reporting to you before the end of the school year. We didn't have time for the history of social science report, and we may have to do that report at the beginning of next year, but a report to the TL committee will be made by that content area at our next meetings. Two other things. Every place I've been, the measure of a school district is how they treat and educate students at risk. I've never seen a great school system that did not overachieve when it came to working with students at risk. In fact, the person that did that better than anybody was Jerry Wiest in Montgomery County, where his minority students outperformed majority students on every measure of academic excellence. And he did the same thing in Durham County and in Guilford County. And he did that by investing in those kids and by setting high standards for the people who served them. And so I think we're in that business now, and I think that we're moving in the right direction so that children who are born with unearned disadvantages can thrive in our district, but they require 24/7 support. You have no idea, unless you had been at risk yourself, about the hour-to-hour and day-to-day challenges that students that are born in hard places face at home and in their communities. And certainly when they come to school, we ought to have something for them that tells them that you can do better and we're going to help you. And that largely depends on the kind of people that we put in front of them, beside them, and behind them. The kind of people that would understand why they are who they are and what have you. And in some rare exceptions, if we can't get it done in the regular school district, we can't afford to allow violent students that are deliberate and hurting people. We have to figure out a way of dealing with them so that they can't do that and help them as best we can. And then the last thing that I want to talk to Dr. Benitez about is the issue was raised about AI and the use of it in schools. And AI is at one point very scary, and at the same time, it can be a force multiplier for poor children who don't have access to a lot of it. And you can bet your last money that kids that have wealth and influence are on it right now and using it in a way that we have to help our kids do. So one of the things I want to do is do a review of the current state of AI in public school systems, K-12, and to perhaps come up with some type of position paper that might help us develop policy. The way I see it now, and the way I use AI as a research assistant, and I use it as a copy editor. And of course, people are already using Grammarly, which is a type of AI, if you will. The big question with AI is plagiarism and accuracy. And so those are daunting issues that we'll have to face. But I think there's a way forward with that. And I've been using it for a long time, believe it or not. And I have probably all of them, and they all have their strengths. But we're using the Google, I believe, Dr. Negron. We're using what's the Gemini? Yeah, but yeah, I think we ought to know about all of them though, and see what their strengths are. But we certainly should settle on something. And I think we'd have to have a policy that lets students know you cannot use it to cheat or to present somebody else's works as yours. So plagiarism is a big issue. And you can't ask them to write something for you. But I think it's a hard one. And in some ways, it's not fair to ask the school system to deal with something that quick, given how new it is. And so we're going to have to be a bit cautious and also patient, because it's not easy. But used the right way, it could be a great thing. And if you think about technology historically, there were people who resented planes. I worked in the farm industry, so tractors over mules and oxen. But it actually made work more efficiently, but it also replaced human labor. And so there are implications for all of that. So I think that we need to get out in front and try to create a policy that talks about the responsible use of AI in a public school setting, particularly for students and teachers and staff. But I'm redesigning the plant beds in my house now using AI. It takes a satellite picture of 130 Judgment Avenue. It looks at the hardness zone that it's in. It looks at what my current landscape is. And based on botany, it makes recommendations for what I can put in the shade, what I can put on the east side, the west side, the south side, the north side. And it even told me that I should plant some fruit for Matt Wilcox. So I have to find out what Matt's fruit is and whether or not it grows in hardness zone 7A. And maybe I'll plant a fig tree, or if I can do that, or maybe I have to get a hothouse so that I can make sure that Matt has his figs when fig season is due. That was a joke. So this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joyner. Thank you. Any discussion? And I think we have an AI policy draft that's currently in place. Dr.
Okay.
Negron?
Actually, Dr. Yarbrough and Dr. Joyner, you did approve an AI policy, so we do have an AI policy. I do want to remind you that there was a formal presentation. Ms. Keisha Red-Hannons had put together quite a group of different stakeholders involving, I'm looking at our teachers union right now, they did play a role in that. Students, And one of the factors that they did discuss was the piece around plagiarism and the appropriate uses. So there was a long discussion that team had before they put together the policy that you did approve. Also, that committee has continued to meet, right? They met to develop the policy, but they have continued to meet. And Dr. Joyner, you were asking which ones we're using. We had also shared that we are currently piloting Magic School and School AI in 8 of our schools. But again, Ms. Keisha Red-Hannons, as our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment, has continued to work closely with that team, because we know as it relates to AI, right, things move really fast, and it can't be just a one and done. You have to continue to stay on top of it. So very happy about the way that work has been progressing. And if you want, I can also ask Ms. Keisha Red-Hannons to provide another update to the board as it relates to AI.
I think
that would be great.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. And actually, you refreshed my memory, because I can remember Keisha and I having lots of conversations about AI, and actually having a TL meeting about it. So you can chalk that omission up to my NI, my natural intelligence, and my AGING. But I do. It's all coming back. But it's funny. This board is moving at a very fast pace, thanks to the leadership of all our committee chairs and the mayor and Dr. B, and Andrea Donald has been a phenomenal addition to the board. And in terms of policies, so things are moving so fast now that I probably have to slow down just to catch up. But I remember that. In fact, I was supposed to go to New York with Ms. Red-Hannons, but could not go for a meeting. But I got involved early because my cousin worked at Google, and he saw it coming. He said, "Cuz you need to understand some of this stuff," and that's where it is. So I stand corrected. And what I want to do is just get a briefing of where we are now. Go look at the policy. And then be honest with you, my response was to a student report, which made it look like we don't have anything. And we have to work on that too. And so I was a little concerned about that. And I'm glad that you reminded me, Dr. Negron. And I'll talk to Ms. Red-Hannons going forward so we can see where we are now and whether or not there are any things that we need to tweak to as we go forward. So thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much, Dr. Joyner. Any further discussion? Mr. Wilcox?
Yeah, I'd just say, figs are great, as are maybe limes or blackberries. Blackberries are great too. So thank you.
I got you.
Thank you very much. Finance and Operations Committee report. Mr. Wilcox?
Yes, this will be real brief. We met last week. We're going to meet next week. The major discussion item we talked about was the budget for next year, which the superintendent already reported on. So that's the end of my report. Minutes are posted. Thanks.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none. Head Start Committee report. Mr. Juarez?
Sure. At this point, we don't have, well, I should say, I'll start by just saying on May 21st, the Head Start Subcommittee met. We outlined a number of different topics that are of concern to the group, but there are no action items for the greater board yet. I'll just highlight that on May 12th, the Department of Health and Human Services Administration or I should say, has announced that they intend to change some of the requirements and some of the as they relate to wages and benefits, and to make things a little bit more flexible, they say. So if there are any changes that come from that require us to react, I'll keep us informed. Head Start enrollment is strong. We're still about 99%. Early Start Connecticut enrollment, not so much. I think we're at about 67%. We received a letter from the state indicating that they're thinking of reducing our funding for that program. Unless we see some change in enrollment for that, I think that's probably going to happen. I will also highlight that one issue that's been recurring is concerns with facilities that not all of the classrooms for Head Start have a restroom nearby or attached specifically. And so I know that our group is hoping to reach out to Dr. White to see if we can find appropriate facilities within the buildings that we currently have and still meet the needs of the families that need to take advantage of these programs. And I will also just share that one of the concerns that we have is that we have, I think, an estimated 24 vacancies for next year. And we'd very much like to do what we can to get those posted as soon as possible. In as much as that's federal funding, it's almost sure that we're going to get it. We'd like to make sure that we put the postings out there as soon as possible so that we can get the most applications and hopefully the best candidates for those openings. Those are, in a sense, the highlights. The one other somewhat unpleasant thing that came up to mind is that we had 3 mandated reporting incidents, 2 at Nathan Hale, 1 at Mayo School, and one resulted into an assistant teacher being put on paid administrative leave. One was a lead teacher at Nathan Hale, led to a resignation, and another Nathan Hale substitute teacher, unpaid leave. So the investigations are just beginning on those. I'm sure we'll have more updates in the future. The notes aren't posted yet, but will be shortly.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Waters. Any discussion? Thank you for your report. Next is the Food Service Task Group report. That is me. The minutes have been posted. We met on May 13th. In terms of the food service update, Mr. Young provided an update for the food service department. It has transitioned to planning summer meals, and the summer meal program begins June 29th, and there are currently 60 sites, including non-NHPS sites, that will help provide food for our students over the summer. Staff also recently attended a conference, and they were able to talk with other district members across other districts as relates to the food service department and what they're navigating in terms of financing and also providing high quality meals. The food service food gap subgroup did have a successful food distribution partnership with families over spring break. The spring break distribution served over 2,000 individuals, which is an increase in comparison to December 2025 distribution. So we're very grateful for the multi-leader partnership between NHPS Food Service Department, our community partners, additional funders that come through in order to make this happen. And at some point, Board, I would like to share more information and have a presentation on that because it really makes a difference for our students and families. And lastly, I'll mention that the food allergy policy is in place and is up for the regular annual review and reaffirmation or changes that will need to happen. Any discussion? Thank you. Seeing none, citywide school building report, Mr. Wilcox.
This will also be brief due to a work commitment. I was not able to attend, but I do note that the monthly facilities report is posted with the meeting materials for that meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Are we in the planning stages for releasing buildings that we don't currently use to the city? I think that's something that probably should be a priority based on recent events.
Thank
Where are
you.
we, where are we with that? You don't have to answer now, but at some point, I hope that we can visit that and see where we are with regard to places where we currently are not gonna ever use again and or may never use again.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joyner, for raising that. And I'll ask Mr. Wilcox to work with the district on that topic. Good. Thank you. Additional discussion? Okay. Seeing none, facilities naming committee report, Dr. Joyner?
Short, I'm not happy with the voter turnout, but we do have candidates, and I want to bring those candidates for a vote to the board no later than the end of the last meeting in June, so that, you know, depending on what we do, that people can start to make plans for supporting that. And also have to talk to Dr. Negron about the Hazel Pappas project that she and I initiated to see that, to use our own students to create signage, which is a good thing. So that concludes my report.
Great, thank you. Any discussion? Thank you very much, Dr. Joyner. I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Nobody wants to go? Okay. Thank you.
It's not a
Dr.
Luther
Joyner?
Vandross concert. Yes, yes.
Mr. Wilcox?
Yes.
Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Mayor Elicker?
Yes.
I'm a yes as well.